Welcome you to day three. In day three, we decided to talk about the Where Geospatial Ecosystem. This is basically one of the things that we feel is going to be a bit new. We have we've put a lot of things together to see how we can blend all the activities that we do at Where Geospatial. Okay, so the component of the geospatial ecosystem is basically career development. We are looking at podcast. We are looking at internship, that's voluntary internship. We are looking at paid internship. As people learn, they also get to be paid some amount of money. We are looking at blogging to share more ideas about geospatial solutions. We are also looking at tutorials that a tutorial that gives us an in-depth of things that we do each and every day. And then we're also looking at community that network and connect. Okay, so I'm going to in the next the subsequent slides, I'm going to explain how this whole thing connects. Now they are not really independent, sitting on their own, but rather they are connected in a synergy. Okay, so this year that we started as franchising or the chaptering, it's going to start with project idea development. Now, at this point, we already have a template for a project development. So if you have an idea of a problem or a geospatial solution to a societal problem, you can pick up the form, and with the form you'll be able to write your idea down in a very nice way, and by the time you realize you have a good proposal, and these ideas or these solutions you write them, you have the opportunity to decide whether you want to manage those ideas as the project manager, or you want it to be open. That is, if any other person is interested in managing that, the person can take it up. You also have the opportunity to talk more about what we are doing, what Where Geospatial is doing. We hope to see more innovation ideas coming up, and then we want to be able to brainstorm most of the problems surrounding us and see how we can make this problem work. Now, on the first of every year for Where Geospatial from now on is going to start on the 1st of January of every year. We're going to do what we call the General Assembly. All the chapters that we will have would all come together and have a general conference. And we call this a General Assembly because this is where we all meet without the country leadership leading. And basically what we do here is to announce projects that we have approved, projects that we have received, and then projects that are available. And these projects are going to give us an idea of the kind of work we have ahead of us within the year. Now, the project is coming from many people. So if as at 1st of January, we have received enough information about who would manage the project, then we would announce the project and the project managers, and then perhaps the project managers would also have the opportunity to get to ask more information or get more inquiries about how they can execute their projects within Where Geospatial. Now, we are looking at a time commitment of a project. We are going to use a project cycle between 12 to 15 weeks. We are not yet sure. But then each of the week, we are expecting that people work 3 hours per week. So in the entire week, we expect people to work 3 hours, committed 3 hours. And with the committed 3 hours, they would be able to get the project to a milestone. Because of this, we have not really figured out the 12, whether it's going to be 12 weeks or 15 weeks, because we want to see the kind of project that's going to come up, and then we'll be able to see what's going to be like. But we know that 15 weeks might not be enough. 3 hours per week with 15 weeks might not be enough for projects to be completed. However, because it's a project cycle, we would try to create a timeline in the schedule in the same time project cycle. So every milestone of the project should be fit within 15 weeks, or yeah, maximum of 15 weeks, so that by the time people are done with their first cycle, the project is at a point where it can easily be expanded by the next team that joins. So 3 hours per week, 12 to 15 weeks project cycle is what we are looking at. Project authors, the people who write or those who came up with the ideas of the project, can decide to become the project managers. And project managers are invariably the mentors. People who did not write the idea but find some open projects interesting and they want to manage can also pick up projects as project managers and they become mentors. So there are two options here. You can create your own project, you can write your own idea and then manage your own idea and mentor people based on your idea. We believe that the originator of the idea has more to give than what he writes. So if someone writes the idea and the person wants to manage his own idea, he will be given the priority than someone who is implementing someone else's idea. There is a way we've tried to design such that there will be a communication between the author of the idea and the project manager if it is not the same person. And this is to ensure that the transfer of knowledge and the intent of the writer is actually captured in the right direction. Now, like I said, the one who manages the project becomes becomes the mentor. Now, with a mentor, what we look at is that you are going to be a project manager to be a mentor in Where Geospatial Media. Now, you have to pick a project and manage a project within the Where Geospatial Media. Number two, you have to provide a project for the interns to work on. Every break, we are going to have yesterday in the yesterday 2 discussion, we explained how we are collaborating with organizations, companies, institutions, and these organizations, including academics and educational or training centers, are supposed to feed into Where Geospatial more people who would be coming on board to look for experience, look for opportunity to learn on a hands-on project. So the project mentor should be willing to give some sort of work to the intern that comes on board. The project mentor would have to provide 4 hours per week of mentoring. What we mean by 4 hours per week is not to sit. So I know that in the previous slide, I said that the time period is 3 hours. Now we added 1 hour to the time for the project mentors because the mentors are supposed to respond to the quest of the mentees. So answering questions, reviewing their contribution, meeting with interns, whether you are chatting with them on a social media channel, whether you are talking to them on phone or having a video call, those petty things might add an extra hour to what the project manager may be doing. Now, we want every project manager should have a real-time meeting at least once in a week. And by real-time meeting, it can be a chat, it can be a video conference, or it can be by phone call to check up on the mentees, to check up on responsibilities, to follow up on how their week is going with regards to the project that needs to be done. Now, we also want the project manager to be able to provide a detailed and timely review of contributions. If a mentor is unable to provide contribution review, then they are responsible for finding community members who can. Okay. And then we also expect that mentors would provide guidance about how mentees should work remotely. This is because Where Geospatial Media works remotely. and people are not used to remote environment. People are used to the environment where they are confined and given restrictions so that they can work. People are used to the environment where they need to be told what they should do. They are not used to that free environment where they decide to plan their own time and be disciplined enough to execute tasks. So people need to mentors are supposed to provide instill into the interns the skill of goal setting and achieving them. So each of the 3 hours per week, they need to set goals and decide to achieve their goals. Now, the mentors should also provide guidance to the interns concerning time management, and then the mentors should supervise their timesheet reports. Now, the last thing the mentors will do is the mentors are going to rate the mentees based on their work that they've done. Now, this rating is going to be a work done by the monitoring and evaluation team, which I will talk about it soon. But this is basically the responsibility we are expecting from the mentors. Now, the mentees are also required to work 3 hours per week on the assigned projects that they have aside the maybe the real time talking with their mentors. 3 hours per week is okay. The real time talking is asking them questions, probably having a video chat with them to check up on their challenges and what is happening. Should be fine with it. And then the mentees should also contact their mentor for guidance on any challenges that they face. The mentees are also responsible for their own learning. So mentors are only to provide guidelines. They are supposed to provide directions, and they are not mandatorily supposed to train the mentees. So in day 2, we explained that we are doing a collaboration with geospatial communities as well as geospatial YouTubers. And the idea was that this collaboration with geospatial YouTubers would make us understand the available trainings that are already online. And so the mentors would be given access to review some of the trainings or some of the things that we have online. And so when a mentee needs to learn a new skill to be able to do a particular task, you don't necessarily have to train them all again, but rather take a video or a training section from one of our collaborators and send to the mentees. So the mentees are responsible to learn on their own and execute the task. Now, the mentees should also be available at least once a week to speak to their mentors. The mentees should communicate clearly to avoid assumptions and ambiguity. So when you are speaking with your mentors, you have to be clear because we are working remotely. And when you don't have enough instructions when you are in a remote environment, you tend to sleep than to work. And then the mentees will also finally get the opportunity to rate their mentors based on the responsibilities we have stated earlier on to be for mentors. The mentors will also rate the mentees based on the responsibility we have discussed now for the mentees. Now, all this rating that they are going to have, we are going to put this rating. It's going to be like the way you rate an app. So individuals, when you go to the Geospatial Ecosystem platform that we are creating, you will find individuals and you find their rating. So their rating is a collection of their time management, their discipline, their ability to learn faster, making time for things that they set goal on, setting goal and achieving them. These are things that the M&E people would do. So I wouldn't want to go too much into it. But then based on that rating, people are going to have 2 stars, 1 star, 5 stars. And this is going to give us an idea about people that are really serious and people that are good for recommendation. Now, the monitoring and evaluation team, like I said earlier on, are responsible to evaluate what is happening within the ecosystem and then provide us with enough information to be able to refine what we are doing. Now, every 2 weeks, the monitoring evaluation team would send a survey or a link across where people would be able to get to answer some few questions, and based on those questions, we will understand what is happening on this side of our view. And so we'll have to get to know, evaluate the experiences the interns are having with the whole system. We are going to get to know the experiences the mentors are even having and the experiences that general people have, so that we can be able to work on it. Now, blogging. In the course of the 15 weeks or 12 weeks that we are anticipating, in the course of the project cycle, we have stipulated every week we have every 2 weeks to have some blog informations by the mentees. So week one is when mentees decide to choose a project or a mentor. Now, when you choose a mentor, we expect the mentees to be able to write a blog about who they are, their background, the project they've chosen, and why they've chosen the project they have picked. And they are free to send this blog to their LinkedIn channel, and then they can send it to their Twitter channel or any other free blog hosting site they can. However, we will also provide an avenue or a platform where they can share their blog for free. The idea is that as the mentees are learning, as we are learning new skills, you will get the opportunity to brand yourself along the way. So by the time your project cycle is over, people knows a lot about you and what you are doing. And probably you will get to meet new people. Week 3, for instance, the second blogging week would be to write about the struggles, some of the challenges you're having on the projects that you are doing and how you are overcoming them. Okay, week 6 or the third blog is going to be to talk about what the people or the audience or the target people that your project is looking at. Think about them, think about what is being done so far and how it is going to solve their problem, make it more complicated, or probably just suspend their pains or their struggle. And then we will have a midpoint where you write us a progress report of what is happening in your. So everyone within the project would have to provide us these informations in the form of a blog. The mentees are learning how to do blog writing, how to market themselves, and at the same time, they are learning a hands-on skill in the geospatial industry. And then they will also talk about career opportunity that comes with some of the new skills that they have learned within the period. So by week 10, you should have learned enough, and then you should come up with something. You should write about career opportunities. Week 12, you write about the final progress of the whole project that you are working on. And then the last week, if we go beyond week 13, the last week, the mentors are going to just work on updating their resumes to add some of the new skills that they have done on their resumes. So that's how the blogging works. Now we come to paid internship. We are working so hard with organizations and companies, and our collaborations and partnership with them. It's not just to get to share resources, but also to create an environment where these organizations would build the trust that if they get GIS projects and they need people, they should come to Where Geospatial to pick or select the people that they need. Now, the idea is that when they come, when we get to build this collaboration stronger, now when people come, they will look at the stars of the individuals within the ecosystem. So if someone search for front-end development, a couple of people will come, but they will see the stars based on the rating, their seriousness, their timekeeping skills, and the other things. They will see their stars. So Where Geospatial would only recommend, we have not decided yet, but I'm sure it's not going to be less than 3 stars. But we are going to recommend people with higher stars for them to work with these organizations. And these organizations, this arrangement is that they are supposed to pay them at least something that they can be able to sustain their time that they are going to keep with them. Now, that is why we call this paid internship. Through this paid internship, we hope that people would get the opportunity to work longer term with the organizations they will be assigned to, or probably they will get other connections and network that will lead them to their dream jobs. But so far, what we are trying to do is to connect people and to try to protect the trust that we will finally build with this organization. So we cannot recommend anyone who has a lower star because it is an obvious indication of the person's attitude towards work. And so within the Where Geospatial ecosystem, there will be the within the Where Geospatial ecosystem, the mentors are going to earn the status of project managers, whilst the mentees are going to get the status of people, skilled personnel who are actually available for work. Now with podcasts, with podcast and webinars. So within the week or within the period of the project cycle, Where Geospatial is working with other organizations that provide resources that is likely to help us enhance whatever project we are doing. And so there's going to be weekly webinars or podcasts discussing certain topics that we, from the M&E team, will be able to find out some of the topics that are supposed to be, that are key. So we can talk about them. We invite experts to talk about them on the Where Geospatial channel. And as these experts talks about them, we expect that some of the people who are working on projects that requires those informations will take a clue from it. We are also allowed to receive suggestions from people or project managers on some of the things that needs to be spoken about. So there's going to be a couple of podcast talks and then webinars on things that are being done somewhere, how to execute certain tasks, and the other things that we need. Okay, so this is the Where Geospatial ecosystem that we are trying to build. It's a bit detailed. We have a manual we are almost done writing that would provide more details about who does what, and what at what time does this event happen. But this is how the ecosystem is. It's a synergy of activities that put together will bring us the podcast, the webinars, the networking and other things that we are talking about. But this time around, we are saying that the attitude of joining a group like Where Geospatial Media and expecting to use it as a requisition platform where people only ask for data or people only ask for ideas for their work becomes the thing of the past, because Where Geospatial mission is to be able to build geospatial solutions, prototypes of geospatial solutions. And this is the way we feel so far it would be best to build such a solution. Okay, so this is how the geospatial ecosystem looks like. I don't know if there is any question. I can go back to any of them if you want me to, but if there is any question, I'll be glad and I'll take that. Is there any question?
I just joined up. I just joined, so just listening.
Okay. I think we just also finished, so I was just trying to find out if there's any question. But the session has been recorded, so we will share the recording on the page as soon as we put it on the YouTube channel. But this is basically discussing the new Where Geospatial ecosystem we are building. And day 4, which is tomorrow, I'll discuss the kind of people we have identified to take advantage of this ecosystem we are talking about. So I'll discuss about 11 groups of people we thought, or we now see them to be the kind of people who can leverage on this ecosystem. Okay, so tomorrow I'll talk about that, and then I'll talk about the Where Geospatial chapter. What does it mean? Why are we doing the chapters, and what roles are the chapters even going to play in the whole ecosystem that we are talking about?
Great, that's great.
Okay. Uh,
It was a nice presentation. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senior. So we would share this recording, and then we hope that we get as many people as possible to come to understand well the direction we are going to, because it's we're working differently now, and we believe that project-based mentoring is the best way to be able to build an ecosystem where the geospatial industry can become a mainstream development indicator. So countries would now see that they need the geospatial industry to be able to survive. And the only way we can do that is to build so many solutions as much as we can. And these solutions we will strategically market them such that if one or two ends up in the mainstream, the trust for geospatial industry would increase. There will be more organization that will create geospatial departments within the organization, and there will be more geospatial people that will be employed. And the more geospatial people are employed, there's likely to be the tendency to have a geospatial leaders or country leaders who are geospatially inclined, which is going to boost the whole field that we are looking at. Africa is not going that far because most of the leaders who throw the shots are not really geospatial people, and they have not yet seen how geospatial is going to help. They still do it the same old way, and we believe we have a better idea, but talking is enough. We want to be able to show them through our project, through our skills, and through our thinking that we have answers to the societal problems that we have in our society. That's all we're trying to do now. Okay, so Oko, unfortunately you came late, but that's not a problem because it has been recorded, and I'm sure I'll be able to send it tonight or before you wake up tomorrow. It should be on the page, and I pray that we all take our time and come up with ideas. Support this idea because it is an environment that everyone can grow, and your growth depends on the amount of energy and effort you put in. And I know that if we do that, we will be able to make an impact in the whole society that we find ourselves. Okay, so until tomorrow, I would want to say goodbye, and then tomorrow we'll discuss the day 4 items.
Great. Looking forward to meeting you tomorrow.
Okay, looking forward to seeing you.